Windows Autopatch, as the name suggests, is a service that manages the automated patching of Windows devices. With that said, I want to talk about why we patch and what we patch. Firstly, there are three main reasons we patch Windows devices. That's security, to fix vulnerabilities, quality, to fix issues with the operating system itself, and then features such as shiny new widgets and functionality. This is really important to differentiate because Microsoft have three corresponding types of patch available, and they're released on different schedules. So for example, quality and security updates are released every month, and feature updates are released less regularly, roughly every 12 months. So that's why we patch, but what do we apply patches to? We typically apply patches to Windows operating systems, just core components, which is the quality and security patches and the feature updates, Microsoft 365 apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Edge, and then also other non-Microsoft apps that happen to be installed on the computer. Now it's important to understand that Windows Autopatch will do everything I just said except patch those third-party applications. It's just simply something it doesn't do. When I first heard about Windows Autopatch around 6 months ago, I thought, wow, that sounds a lot like Microsoft Managed Desktop. Just a light version of it. That's something Microsoft Managed Desktop seems to do out of the box. But Microsoft Managed Desktop is an invite-only service. Well, that similarity stretches even to the enrollment process. So in a moment, we're going to go through how we enroll for both Microsoft Managed Desktop and Windows Autopatch, and you'll probably see some likeness. I will stress that I haven't actually messed around with this yet at all. The first coffee tenant that you're going to see here is the only tenant that has had Autopatch lit up for me. I haven't been able to play around with this yet at all. Hopefully this will help you if you're right at the start of your Windows Autopatch journey, like me, and if it does, well, there's a button for that. Let's jump into this portal. So as always, we're going to start out at the Endpoint Manager Admin Center, and from the home screen, just jump down to Tenant Administration. And then all the way down at the bottom, you should see a couple of tenant enrollment features. We've got Windows Autopatch, which is the service that I'm going to talk about today. And we've got Microsoft Managed Desktop. And I'm just going to show you what the tenant enrollment section looks like for Microsoft Managed Desktop. Because really, this is, I think, is very, very similar to Windows Autopatch. So it gives some information at the top there about what the feature is and that you can learn more about the service. And then it offers you a readiness tool so you can check whether you're ready for the service. And then it says, just at the middle there, once you're ready, work with your Microsoft account manager to take the next step of enrollment. And now not every organization has a Microsoft account manager. There are lots of unmanaged customers out there. So this really is an invite-only solution, and not every organization is going to be able to take part in this service. Now, just jumping over to Windows Autopatch, we've got the tenant enrollment section here, and it says at the top what the service is and that you can learn more about it. We then have a readiness assessment tool, just like MMD, and then it says once you are ready, you can enroll your tenant into the service. There's no invite required here. You don't need to speak to your account manager or jump through any hoops. You don't even need to run the tool again. You just need to be local global admin for your Azure AD, and then off you go. Just enroll it into the service. Now, as I said at the start, I haven't done this yet for this tenant or even any tenant at all. Actually, this is my first time running through Windows Autopatch with you. So we're going to scroll down to the bottom, and you can see we can start this process by selecting the checkbox to allow Microsoft to assess and store results for the readiness assessment. Now, I will say that it does say that it will store this information in a relatively anonymized format on their service for around a year, for 12 months actually, and then it will store it in an anonymized format after that. And you can obviously request that they delete it if you need to. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and choose Agree. And we'll see what it does. This is the first time I've done this, so let's give it a few seconds. It says it's running some management checks. We are not ready for Autopatch, So it's given the readiness status as not ready, and we can view details to identify which management settings need to be addressed. Once we've done that, we can run the checks and verify the actions that need to be completed. Brilliant. Well, that seems fairly clear. You can see there are clearly 7 checks that it's just gone through there. 5 of them are ready, 1 is not ready, and 1 is an advisory. So I'm really keen to look into what those are. Okay, so right at the top, the not ready item is security defaults, and I can click into that and see what it means. I hope I can do that. I'm going to do that in a moment and see what it does. Then advisory is co-management. Now I don't think I've got co-management set up in this lab, so maybe that's why it's an advisory and not green. I don't know. We'll jump into that as well. And the rest, so conditional access, I've got configured. It's up and running. It works. Licenses, I have the required licenses for this. It's the minimum is Windows Enterprise, no, Windows E3 or better, so Windows E5. You also need Intune, and you also need Azure AD Premium P1. I have an unlicensed admin, which isn't true. I don't know why that. I don't know what that means by unlicensed admin. I do have a licensed admin. In fact, the only user that has a license in the tenant is this admin, and it's a M365E5 license. We have update rings for Windows 10 or later as ready, and then Windows Autopatch service accounts, which it says are ready, but I didn't create them. That's not something I've done. That's clearly something it's either checked that it can create or has already gone ahead and created for me. In fact, let's just jump in to learn more about each check. It'll take us to a docs page and we can see what it means. Okay, excellent. So unlicensed admin refers to the fact that I have the setting in Azure AD which allows unlicensed admins to be able to use Microsoft Intune. The update rings that I've got in place, if I have any for this lab, don't target any Windows Autopatch devices. Now I don't have any Windows Autopatch devices yet, so that is not. I couldn't have any Autopatch devices yet. It's just created the service for me. Okay, so let's jump into this and then take a look at what the issue is with my security defaults. So security defaults will prevent Windows Autopatch from managing your devices. That doesn't sound ideal. So we need to turn off security defaults, essentially. So that's not compatible. Let's go ahead and do that then. So I'll go to the Properties blade in the Azure portal. Just click that link on the Properties page. Look for Manage Security Defaults. And we're going to go ahead and turn this to No. And then I do think I'm using conditional access. And if not in this tenant, then I should be. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. And that hopefully will change that from not ready to green already. Let's take a look what the co-management issue is. So to enroll devices that are co-managed, we must have workloads switched to Intune. I don't have co-management set up, so that's not going to be an issue for me. Okay, so rerun checks. Let's give this a go. Checks complete. Relatively green. That's better than before. Let's close out those two. And we are ready to go. Okay, so now I'm going to start the enrollment process, and I genuinely have no idea how long this will take. It could take a few seconds, it could take months. So I'm going to click this button and we'll see what happens when I do that. And so it's taken me straight to a permissions page where I need to give permission for Microsoft to do some things. It's going to create some accounts to manage and license the registered devices only when necessary for troubleshooting. It's going to manage my devices in Intune. It's going to collect and share information on usage, status, and compliance for the devices. Surely that's used to allow it to understand whether devices are in use and understand information about the devices so that it can determine which devices to patch and when. But we'll go into that later on in the video. And then also remove Microsoft administrator accounts from multi-factor authentication and conditional access policies. So it wants to exclude its service accounts from MFA and conditional access, which is an interesting requirement, but yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And I just need to choose I give permission to Microsoft to manage my organization on my behalf, which sounds like a terrifying statement, but let's roll with it. We choose agree, and it says welcome to Windows Autopatch. So we need some contacts, because if there are any issues that are outside of their scope, then they want to be able to speak to us. This feels like a journey that you would go through from MMD, Microsoft Managed Desktop, more than what we're going through right now. But I haven't actually enrolled MMD either, so let's go ahead and do this. Oops. It seemed to dislike me not putting a space after the country code there. But never mind, we'll choose next. And we're ready to go. I'll click complete. And it's now setting up the accounts and policies for my tenant, and it'll take a few minutes. That's not months, is it? Hopefully this will go nice and swiftly. And it says Windows Autopatch setup is complete. Select continue to start registering devices. But at the top here you can see it is still doing some stuff in the background. So it's still, doing some stuff in the background. So that's as much information as it gives. But it's doing that. So I can click continue. And we are in Windows Autopatch, which looks like we get to it from Tenant Admin, Tenant Enrollment, according to this breadcrumb trail. So we have two tabs. The first tab is ready. The second tab is not ready. And it says we've got one action. Well, two actions. We've got discover devices, and then some device actions, which are assign and deregister. And it says these devices are managed by Windows Autopatch. To register more devices, add members to the Azure AD group called Windows Autopatch Device Registration. It can take an hour for them to appear here. There are obviously none, because as you've just seen, I've just created the enrollment process, and I haven't added any devices to that group. So it looks like this is a link, so I can click on that. Hopefully it'll take me to the group rather than a docs page explaining what a group is. There you go. And there are no members in it, so I'm going to go ahead and add my VM to it. No back button. Heading back, there it is, to the devices list. If I refresh, it's very unlikely they're going to appear. Here's a refresh button down there as well, which does not a lot either. So it's going to take up to an hour for them to appear, which is disappointing. But then we can also try clicking Discover Devices to register them on demand. Let's see. So it'll scan the group to register devices that are recently added. This can take up to an hour. So it'll either take an hour to automatically discover the devices, or if you click this handy button, it can do it on demand, which can take up to an hour. So while we wait for that to take place, this is just a devices page, right? This doesn't seem to give me too much information about what patches are going to roll out, when they're going to roll out. So there must be additional information here. So I'm going to just jump back into Home and see if I can get to this page in a slightly different way. So we're going to go into Devices and see if you can get to Autopatch. Are there any links on the left here? Nope. Maybe it is down in Tenant Admin. And then in Autopatch, we have Tenant Enrollment again. Let's see what happens from here. Alright, I mean, that has worked, but that really is just the list of devices that I've added. So it's put them in a group, the first group. It's got the last sign-in date, the enrollment date. You can see it was within a few minutes of each other, and they're both virtual machines. That's not really enough for me to use Autopatch, surely. So let's see what it's done. We'll go into Update Rings for Windows 10 and later, and see if it's created any rings for us. It has. Okay, so these aren't mine. I didn't create these. We have Windows Autopatch rings that have been created. We've got the Modern Workplace Update Policy Test, First, Fast, and Broad. And I don't think they're in the right order. I think that's alphabetical order, because you would have test first with a deferral of 0 days. First, obviously, the first one from your production devices with a deferral of 1 day. Then fast within 6 days, and then the broad release within 9. And that's the information you get from Microsoft anyway as to the best practice, the recommended practice for this. Let's see if it's done the same for feature updates. And it has. We have 5 though. We have a version for Windows 11, and then 4 versions for Windows 10, which is great. But they're all the same version, apart from Windows 11. Interesting. And good, okay. Interesting that it shows you the support end date for the version. That's quite neat. That's something you don't need to Google anymore. That's good. It's good to see. And then quality updates. See if it's created anything in there for us. No, nothing at all created in there. Okay, good. Let's see what else it's done. Let's jump into groups. And I'm going to just look for a group with Modern Workplace or something in the title. Or I could search for Autopatch. Let's check. Modern Workplace seems to be the tag they're using. So we've got Modern Workplace service accounts. So we've got devices. I'll go with devices, actually, because that's what I'm kind of looking for. Right, so we've got a few. Let's take a look at these. We've got all, virtual machine, broad, fast, test, first, 11, 10, and pre-release test devices. Okay. Now, some of them are dynamic and some of them are assigned. I'd expect the broad to be... Okay, all of the ones that are broad, fast, test, and first are assigned. So, unless it's doing the assignment for me, which is possible, it's likely, actually, thinking about it. Okay, so I've got 2 members in there, 2 devices in there, which are the ones that I enrolled to the service. That's those 2 there, and it's been automatically put into the first group for deployment. Now, the idea is quite simple. It will analyze the devices in the organization and choose the right devices to go into the right group. And as you can see, I've only got 2 devices enrolled in this organization, so it's not a great example, but the point is very simple. It will enroll your devices into the right group. It will add your devices into the right group so that they get patched at the right time using the update rings policy. And it seems very simple, really, isn't it? It just takes away the admin overhead of understanding which patches need to be released to which computers at which time. And the aim is that it will keep your devices secure, up to date within 9 days for the broad devices if they're online, and also up to date with the latest feature update. You saw 21H2 there was the one that was being pushed out. The aim seems to be that it would keep your devices to a feature update level that means they can continue to be serviced. It sounds like a great idea. I think that's all I'm going to be able to demonstrate within this particular video, but it's certainly something I'm going to look at in a bit more detail and come back at a later time with some more thoughts. Thanks for watching.